So I founded StockCharts because I have this interest in computer graphics, actually going back to my very early days as a computer programmer, and I did a bunch of graphic work at Microsoft, working on Windows, graphical user interfaces, that kind of thing. But after I left Microsoft, the internet was happening and it was very graphical, and I wanted to find ways to contribute again. And so I had been collecting and looking at a variety of different options. A lot of it was having to do with what domain name could I get, what domain name could I find, and I was looking at the various domain registrars at the time, and I snapped up a couple of interesting ones I thought, but none of them really got me going. And then I remember one night I had been interested in technical analysis from like about 1990, because it was one of the more interesting examples of a Windows program. Metastock was a very interesting Windows program back at the time, very graphical. I didn't understand what the bars meant or anything, but I thought it was an interesting graphics program to play with, and so I started using it. And then I started learning more about technical analysis, starting reading Stock Schematics magazines. So when I fast forward to 1999, and I just decided to, hey, is the domain name StockCharts available? And I typed it in, and it was, which was quite amazing. And I remember just quickly going, I need, boom, 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 click buy, and I'm like, okay, I just spent $20 and I've got it. I've got StockCharts.com. And I said, well, okay, let's see what we can do with StockCharts. Initially, we actually were using somebody else's charts on our website. We didn't have enough people and we didn't have enough time to get our own thing. So we were using a third-party charting platform on our website, but it was always our intention, of course, to have our own. And by 2000, we had hired several good programmers as well as some good data people, and they had enough time to actually put together the initial version of SharpCharts, the first charting engine that we had. And I remember when that was launched, it was really nice to be able to say that the website and the charts were all ours rather than a mishmash of other people's. Was a really good day, really good day. Another piece of the puzzle has always been, how do people find interesting charts to look at? And the scan engine is one of the key things that people can use to look at that stuff. The scan engine was actually created initially, the initial version, by an intern that we had here. We had our first intern was really good. We got lucky. And he created several important pieces of the StockCharts puzzle. The only one that's really left more or less as he originally did it is the scan engine, at least the guts of the scan engine. We've added a whole lot more stuff on top of it, and we've done some other things, but the core of the thing is still what that intern wrote many years ago. And it's been a super valuable piece of the entire puzzle. Looking at charts is great, but again, you want to be able to find charts that are interesting, and the scan engine really helps with that. So Chart School happened because it's one of our core values, one of our core missions is to provide education to online investors about all this stuff. It's great to have a bunch of really important, sophisticated tools, but you need to be able to explain them and help people understand the right way to use them. And so education has always been one of our core values. Tools, commentary, and education are the three things we focus on, and Chart School has been like the major thrust of education for us online for quite some time. The idea is Wikipedia for technical analysis, and just a large, ever-growing collection of educational articles about different indicators, different chart types, styles of investing, styles of analysis, the scanning, all the different things that go into to technical analysis. We wanted to be kind of the home. We thought with the domain name StockCharts, we kind of have an obligation to be the home of technical analysis information on the web, of high quality technical analysis information on the web. And Chart School certainly plays a huge role in that. It kind of came together in my mind along with our mission of trying to be educational, to say, hey, while I enjoy going out and meeting people throughout the country, which I want to continue to do, we should also have an event where people come to Seattle and get together and meet each other, because it's not just great for me to talk to people, but it's also great for people to talk to people. So that was where the genesis of ChartCon was born. We did the first one in 2011. About 500 people came, I think, and we spent 2.5 days talking to them about StockCharts, showing them all the different features of StockCharts, having our commentary experts talk about the market, and also just trying to build community. And it really worked. I mean, I think the people that came to that ChartCon and also the next one that we did in Seattle really kind of connected, not only with us, but with each other, and really, really positive experience. In 2015, we started doing, we wanted to take the ChartCon concept, but we wanted to have it happen more frequently. Plus, when people were seeing the presenters talk live and they were able to ask questions back and forth, it seemed like more magic happened in that case. And so we started to look for ways to use technology to make that happen more frequently than just the occasional ChartCons. And of course, other things were happening too. Everyone's internet was getting faster. You could use broadband to do video a lot more. And so we took advantage of a service called GoToMeeting.com at the time, and we started to just have these meetings that were really just webinars, really was the right way to phrase them, where from time to time, a couple times a week, different commentators would have a show that people could watch live and learn more about, and also submit questions to. And it was very popular. Initially it was just one show a week, but by the end I think we had 7 shows a week, something like that. I had a show on the weekend. It was starting to take up an awful lot of time, which is both good and bad. Eventually I had to back off because I need to focus on what I do, which is the website itself and the technology and the programming. But I think the genesis of those webinars ultimately evolved into what's now StockCharts TV. ChartCon, we did it in 2011, we did it in 2012, I think we did it maybe in 2014, I can't remember, but the coming to Seattle was a great experience. Like I said, we built a lot of community, but I also got a lot of feedback from people saying, I can't make it. It's not, I can't travel to Seattle, or it's too expensive, or I've got other things happening at that time of year, so on and so forth. We looked in holding ChartCon in other locations, something we might actually still do at some point. But we also wanted to broaden the participation. And so how can we do that? Well, based on our success and our working with the GoToMeeting platform, we started to think about, well, hey, can we do it online? Is there some way to make it available to a much, much larger audience online? And that would also allow us to bring the commentators together in different various locations and still have their interaction amongst themselves, which is, by the way, a behind the scenes wonderfulness of ChartCon is to have the commentators come together and talk amongst themselves, share ideas. But so we wanted that to happen, but we wanted to have it also be able to reach a much, much broader audience. And so in 2016, I think it was, we went down to Napa, got a hotel down there, and put together a whole bunch of video equipment and internet connectivity and everything else. And we held ChartCon, but as a virtual event on live stream. And I thought it went really well. It hit almost 2,000 people participated in that ChartCon, so much, much larger audience than we'd had before. And I think they got a lot out of it. We tried and are continuing to look for ways to build community, still build community, even though it's this virtual event now rather than a physical face-to-face event. And in the first time we did that with an app, and I thought it worked really well. The amount of communication going back and forth that people were using, I thought was great. So the ChartCon concept also brought us into the world of live streaming on the internet. The ChartCon conference itself was streamed out over the live stream platform, and it was a very interesting event, a different experience than the webinar experience we've been doing up until that point. And because it worked well, it brought up in my mind, well, can't we just do this on a more regular basis? Why does it have to be a specific event that we're live streaming? Why can't we just live stream content much more frequently? And of course, recently things like people cutting the cord, getting rid of their cable, or more importantly, people getting, again, more and more bandwidth into their internet bandwidth that they can use into their house and other places. All that stuff kind of has been happening. There's the concept of narrowcasting, where you get these internet TV channels that are very, very specific. They're niche-y, they're on a particular topic. It's a narrow topic, but it's still a very interesting topic. And so now there are more and more and more of those kind of channels out on the internet. And I said to myself, why not us? We are a niche, we're a very rich niche, we're a very interesting niche, very graphical. We should be able to do a lot of really interesting stuff in the, if we had a TV channel along these lines. And so StockCharts TV was born and launched. We've been building that out ever since, hiring more people, getting more capability in place, so on and so forth, and doing things like this, which is great. Our goal is to continue to grow StockCharts TV and make it a very valuable resource for everybody, not unlike what we did with Chart School, but where Chart School is a written website, web page kind of thing. StockCharts TV will be a live thing and a video thing. And there's lots and lots and lots of great ideas we have here. As we get more and more people on board, you're going to start to see more and more of those ideas come to you on StockCharts TV.